Hi, I'm Jess Pressland, the CEO of the JP Group. I've been developing managers for over 20 years. In this podcast, I'm going to be sharing my stories and insights to where leaders get it wrong and what they can do to get it right, wherever you are in your leadership journey. In this episode, we're looking at managing different generations. Are we focusing on the wrong thing? Different generations actually may want some of the same things. I see a lot of stereotyping. I'll share an example. I'm quite passionate about this. I've got grown-up boys of my own, and I hear things like, oh yeah, the younger generation, they don't want to work. They're really lazy. And I kind of want to go, actually, I've got a couple at home who are massively passionate and work really hard, actually. I don't think you can write off an entire generation of saying that they don't want to work. I just think that's crazy. And I have the privilege of working with an awful lot of young people. And in fact, just this week, working with a couple of young engineers, hugely ambitious, massively want to do the right thing in their organisation, and their business is supporting them and growing. And I think that's great. And not at any point would I be classing them as lazy or not wanting to work. I think they work really hard and they've got some great ideas and bring a great contribution. Do they like purpose? Yes. Does actually their time outside of work really matter to them? Yes, it does. And I think COVID changed that for a lot of people. And I know we're still talking about it all these years on, but it didn't just change it for the young people, it changed it for a lot of people, how we perceive work now. So yeah, I would be massively into ask and treat people like an individual. So I don't like the generalization. Don't stereotype, please, all young people not wanting to work hard. Please don't stigmatize and generalize around generations of older people not wanting to change and be frightened of technology. Like, sometimes this is a person thing, not a generation thing. I've worked with lots of people who might be considered, I'll include myself as I'm fast approaching 50, into that older generation. And actually, do you know what? I love change. I love learning. So actually, don't put me in a box. Don't put my kids in a box. Don't put my team in a box because they fit into a generation. There are many things that generations will want the same, things like respect, purpose, growth, and trust, for example. But there may be then other things that they want differently. So I think for me, employee proposition is really important when you're managing multi-generations, is to appreciate that actually not everyone in your organization is going to want the same thing. If we're going to take a stereotype of the younger generation and the Gen Zs, I think that they are going to want growth. They're going to want development. They're going to want purpose. They're going to want those things. They will expect feedback. So there are some expectations in the workplace now that perhaps weren't present previously. But for me, I think it's not necessarily it's the generation is the problem. I see the stereotyping a lot, and I do get on my soapbox a little bit about it, because stop making assumptions about people. It's a bit like, even not just the generations, but if you take things like parents, and they would go like, working mums don't want to be promoted and things like that. You know, I've obviously had a career and I've had 3 boys, and, you know, my youngest is 14 and I currently want to take over the world, right? So actually, I'd like people to stop making assumptions. So don't think that somebody who's got a young child doesn't want a promotion, for example, or they want work-life balance. Actually, what I think people should do is be asking people. There are really simple tools to find out around what people value in the workplace, and I don't think enough happens around that. My lesson would be that you do need to have employee propositions that can follow a wide variety of things. So some people would really want benefits and some people would want flexible working. And that doesn't necessarily come from a generation. It comes from persons. So I think appreciate that in your organization, rather than thinking multi-generation, think actually in today's workplace, we need to have different employee propositions. So have that, but have more meaningful conversations with people to actually establish what is it you would like and what do you value in the workplace. So to find out if they are the person that really wants purpose and wants recognition and wants progression, or the person that just loves their job and wants to be creative and make a difference and make an impact. And that doesn't necessarily come down to a generation thing. Do you actually know what motivates each member of your team? I think it's about creating your culture. So what is it that you want? And so if you're creating an environment where there's psychological safety, we create an environment where people speak up. And it comes back to, what did I say? What do all generations want is around respect, I would anticipate, would be a big one. And respecting of others reduces conflict. So actually, we all have the right to an opinion. You're there as a leader to manage those conversations. And actually, people disagreeing can be quite a good thing. You don't want a team of yes people. You want a team of people that can challenge each other constructively. And that's down to the leader to manage those behaviors and create that environment where you're generating, actually, we're creative and we come up with ideas, and no idea is a bad one because we're going to look at it and explore it to see its value. So I don't see the conflict as a generation thing. I think you're always going to have challenge with working with people. So from a leader point of view, you want to create an environment and a culture that allows people to do well, people to feel safe, assert their rights, and people have rights to be respected and listened to in the workplace. And if you create an environment where actually it will reduce the conflict because you create an environment where people are really happy to share and they respect each other. And I see that done really well. I think it's where leaders then don't create that, where there's problems, or if they see a bit of friction, they're either scared of it because they're like, oh gosh, actually we can welcome the fact that having different opinions is a really good thing. If we're all the same, it wouldn't drive creativity and best outcomes. Seeing the opportunity in multi-generations, because we've all got different lived experiences that we can bring, and what new people to an organisation bring, fresh eyes, let's look at it. So I always, again, think of a culture where we're always wanting to do things better, listen to other people. And I think you just create that over time. So it comes back to being a role model. You role model the fact that we encourage ideas from everybody to speak up and have their say. And then we look at new people as an opportunity within the team. Thank you for listening to this episode. Visit our website, thejpgroup.org, the podcast page, where you can download our workbook that accompanies this series for you to take what you've heard and put it into practice.